Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the train went home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah. This is a golden hour, where the light hits right, where New Bern shines in that coastal light. Every voice, every story, every dream out loud. Yeah, we're lifting up this city proud. This is a golden hour. Well, it ain't golden. Yeah. Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the tram winds home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah, this is a golden hour. Ooh, I am. Ooh, I am. Ooh, I am. This is the golden hour. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Golden Hour. I am so excited that you are here today. I am beyond excited for today's show. Like I said in my live yesterday, I don't know about a lot of you, but I always find during events in New Bern, I never know what's going on. And then I see all these amazing posts and pictures and videos, and I'm very sad that I missed everything. So our guest today is going to share so much information, and I'm so excited about it. But first, as usual, I'm going to share a special property with you guys. This week, we are doing something special on 443 Peregrine Ridge Drive, and we are having Prime Day in the real estate world, or Prime Week. So this week only until July 5th, my seller is going to be offering $3,000 in closing costs and a new refrigerator, or up to $5,000 in closing costs with an acceptable offer. So now you have more incentive to come see this new construction. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, plus a bonus room and the kitchen and the living room and all that good stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest today, Melissa Riggle. Hey, Melissa, how are you?
Hey, I am doing great. I hope you are.
I'm good. So, Melissa is with Visit New Bern. We really do see the signs everywhere, but can you, like, real quick, tell us what is Visit New Bern?
Yes. First of all, love the intro. Love the song. I have to
Thanks.
say it was very cool, very very fun way to come into everything. So I appreciate that,
Yay,
and
thank
thank
you.
you for having me here.
Yes.
So Visit New Bern is the marketing or consumer facing tourism authority branch. So we're the marketing arm of the Craven County Tourism Development Authority.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that, but the authority is the policy making and promotion making board that sets all of kind of the standards and drives tourism in our market for this county. So the Tourism Authority is made up, it's been in place here in Craven County since the 80s. It's made up of 9 board members, and I am the acting executive director. The board oversees where all of the tourism taxes that are collected, what is done with them, and our sole, by legislation, the board is required to put all of that back into, you know, operating a visitor center, marketing and promotion of this destination, everything that goes along into being a destination marketing organization like Visit New Bern. Our sole purpose is to bring people to this county, to market us as the most and the premier destination in Eastern North Carolina and the East Coast, period. We do that in a number of different ways, and we're 100% funded through tourism tax.
Okay.
So that's a lot of people don't know that as well. So the taxes from any hotel that you stay in, any Airbnb, any bed and breakfast, you have your sales tax, and then you have a 6% occupancy tax that's
Mhm.
also included on that. That is levied, and then it goes into the what goes into the TDA, and how we use those funds is to operate our visitor center, our staff, and all of the marketing and everything that goes along with it to keep a tourism authority going. So kind of
Awesome.
a little behind the scenes there, but when
I
you
like that. I
see,
had no idea.
yeah, a lot of people don't, and I mean, and why would you, right? I mean,
Mhm.
but what you see hopefully is really beautiful images and social media that says "Visit New Bern," and it makes you want to come, and it makes you proud of where you live in our community, because that's what we're, like I said, the marketing side of it.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about you as well before we get into all the details. Who are you? What is your role? How long have you been here? Just whatever you'd like to share with us.
Well, I am from New Bern.
Mhm.
I went to school here, born and raised. Well, I was born in Jacksonville, just a little bit down the road. My father was in the Marine Corps and then was stationed at Cherry Point, but remained here and grew up here. I have been in this role currently with the TDA as the executive director for 6 years. Prior to that, and I've been with the tourism and hospitality industry in New Bern since 2006. So a long time.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen the ebbs and flows. I've seen a lot of trends. I've seen growth, and just this market really just begin to take on its own life, and it just really start to grow and become such a great destination that we know it today. My family is from here. We're still here. I have a little girl who I'm very happy that we're raising here in New Bern, because my husband and I both being from here, to see this and to know this is the best place, period, to live, work, and play. It's just
Yes.
amazing now to be doing what I love and then having a family here to do it with.
Yeah, I love that so much. Well, what right now would you say excites you the most about promoting New Bern at this point in time?
So really, it's what we're doing in our marketing efforts is to really bring to light kind of new aspects of New Bern and the county that visitors might not have known about. You know, we often are synonymous with Tryon Palace, and we're
Mhm.
synonymous with history and a walkable downtown, but people really miss out on our waterways
Mhm.
and the natural beauty and natural assets that we have here in our community. We have the Croatan National Forest right
Mhm.
here in our backyard. We have 2 beautiful rivers that I think are underutilized from the visitor standpoint. We really want to shift our focus and show people a different side of New Bern that you can also also enjoy when you come here. So really excited about leaning into that. We have some really beautiful creative. We've put some new things together in terms of assets that will help that. And it's just I think for most visitors and what we're seeing and trending, a lot of people are looking for something new. They're looking for things and adventures and experiences that get people outdoors and get people, more connected with their family or whoever they're traveling with. And we're really working to serve that up and to show people, like I said, a different side of New Bern in our community here.
Yeah, I love that. How would you say that the tourism you've seen so far changed since when you started 20 years ago to now?
Quite a bit. So, and I say this in all, respect of what, every tourism asset that we have in our portfolio means. We were for so long, just this charming little town that, was very quaint and it was very, quiet and we had a trolley to offer. We still have this amazing trolley service that we offer to guests every day. But we had the trolley and we had the palace and, maybe a little lunch spot. But, we would often joke that at 5 o'clock, the sidewalks rolled up and, there was nothing to do in the evening. And,
Right.
growing up here, this was certainly not a place that we thought of to go and hang out on the weekends or to go shop or, to really spend time in. We were kind of getting away. We were going to other markets. And I can tell you, growing up here in high school, this was not what I expected my career to be. It was to come here and to be promoting and be my, sole purpose was to be driving people to visit our New Bern. But I've seen, so many things. I think our downtown, which is, I think, really what is at the core of our tourism assets and the kind of the crown jewel. It's the largest attraction that we have from our visitor economy standpoint. And you think about what it looks like, the revitalization of it, the new businesses, our food and beverage and our culinary scene are, leaps and bounds what they used to be. I don't know how long you've been here, but it just even in the past 10 years, what we've brought and the new businesses that have come here have just put us on a different level and really elevated and stepped up our game.
Yeah, I agree with that. We're right at 12 years. So right in that 10-year
Okay,
mark,
all right. So you've
that
seen,
transition. Yeah, it's
yeah.
been amazing. We absolutely love it. On the side of the visitor standpoint and tourism. So I just know like with local people in any community, not just New Bern, but it's like my husband grew up down East Carteret County and you're like, well, here comes a tourist. Here comes, all the local people just being real, I don't want to say annoyed, but it gets busy. So what does that visitor economy actually mean for New Bern? And what would you like the local residents to know and care about tourism?
That's a great question because resident sentiment and how they feel about tourism, it does play a big part because our residents can help to be a champion for different initiatives and promotions and events that are tourism related, and they can also do the opposite. And we want this. We often advocate and say that we want tourism to be a community shared value. We don't want everybody to say that they can't get everybody and somebody's going to be annoyed at some point.
Yeah.
But we hope that they see the value that tourism brings. Last year, our tourism dollars that were spent in this county were over $183 million.
Wow.
So that's quite a large chunk of our economy. And if those tourism dollars were to go away, it'd be crippling. So that's something that I think we want people to know and feel. And, your neighbors and your friends and your associates that are opening businesses or run a business or do anything that are in a hospitality field or in a business downtown are directly impacted by tourism. And I think most of them would tell you that over 70% of the business that comes into some of the downtown merchants and shops are from tourists. There's over 1,200 jobs that are just hospitality and tourism related in Craven County that are annually being filled. And so that's significant for this community. And the visitor economy is a huge impact here and it's continuing to grow. Those are just the last numbers, but we've had things that have come online since then that we know they're going to see an uptick in those numbers. So, we get that sometimes there is the feeling that we want to overgrow. We don't want too much, and then we don't want to wait for lines. But we can do it thoughtfully and measured. And one of the other ways we're working to provide and show the value of tourism is through some of the programs that we've put in place. We recently, just this year, launched with Craven County Parks and Rec a self-service kayak system that is in Creekside Park. It's an 8-man unit. There's a couple of tandem and then some single units where you can go, residents or tourists. Anybody accessing that park can utilize or rent a kayak for half a day rental, and go out and explore our waterways and using their phones and just a QR code. And that's something that's new here and paid for through tourism dollars. So it's a way that we could, give back in a sense to show that, and provide a win-win for the residents and tourists. And so we're really excited that started in March and has been going really well so far this summer.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes as
Yeah.
well, and get a little more detailed. Where would you say, like you went statistically and stuff, and you're able to see a lot of the numbers, but where are you seeing most of the visitors coming from right now?
We are very data driven and use a platform called Placer AI, and it uses anonymous GPS data from guests that enter into a predetermined location, which often we'll use Craven County or downtown. Sometimes if we have an event, we do that. And with anybody who enters into that predetermined location, it will automatically generate information on their visitor journey, where they came from. It can sound a bit creepy, and even as I'm saying, I'm using this every day. I can get where people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's totally Big Brother," and I can understand that. We use it for varying purposes, but all to really identify who our visitors are, where they're coming from, what marketing efforts that we're doing are working. Do we need to shift? And if we're starting to see some folks come from Wake Forest area in a certain zip code, what is that happening from? What is the reason? So we dive into that. Do we need to put more advertising dollars in that location to continue to draw? So we use that along with our marketing agency, and we're seeing a lot of guests. Interstate travel is by far our leading origin, and Raleigh is constantly one. We're seeing a lot from Wilmington this year. Fayetteville and the Greensboro area, we've seen a really strong uptick as well. And we have put some additional effort and money in around the Charlotte and Greensboro and Fayetteville, that further west, because the further people travel and further people travel from, the longer they tend to stay and the more money they spend while they do it. And so that's always our goal. We want them to stay as long as possible. We want them to experience and do as much as possible. And then hopefully we want them to relocate so they come find you later.
That'd be nice. So you're basically saying most of the people are coming from North Carolina and not necessarily out of state.
Huge. Well, no, I mean, that's primarily where we see a lot of our interstate travel from. But excuse me, the out-of-state markets, we get visitors from Northern Virginia. We get visitors from Ohio. New York is continuously in our top 5. Florida is another strong contender, and New Jersey as well. So we have like 5 that are usual in that running. But like I said, but the interstate market gets a lot, and that's pretty typical. What you see with a tourism destination, you get a lot of that. But we are also very fortunate that we have a beautifully renovated and very functional regional airport that provides daily flight service to Charlotte, and then also now provides weekly service from Connecticut into Orlando and then back again. And so we've seen a strong surge in some folks from the Northeast and then from the Orlando market as well. So that plays a huge part in it.
That makes sense. I have sold houses to somebody from each one of those states that you've mentioned. I always find it interesting, especially Ohio. I feel like I've met a lot of people from Ohio.
A lot of people from Ohio. And I love that. Yeah. I've always said this about Keller Williams, that I brag on you all as well for just always being so engaged. And every time I've ever come to present or talk, the questions, and you really see the connection between the tourism space and what we're doing and what you all do. And it's just, it's really cool. Y'all have
Yeah.
always been so
Thank you.
great.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. I love to hear that. So we're gonna like shift gears just a little bit and start talking about some events. But America 250. So I mean, obviously it's a big year for America this year in 2026. What role does New Bern play in this story?
Well, this is where it all started.
Mhm.
You ask any of us, and we hold
Yeah.
on strong to that. And being the first permanent state capital,
Mhm.
but what we are doing, it has been uh, a year in the making, and it will be all year long.
Mhm.
A lot of great destinations are really kind of having their pivotal event be centered around July 4th, which is,
Mhm.
I think, amazing. We have an awesome, very robust July 4th lined up that we can talk about. But we wanted to do things a little different, and we didn't just want to pinpoint one specific day or date.
Mhm.
So we took the entire calendar year, and
Mhm.
all of our anchor events, if you will, your Ghost Walk, Mumfest, all of those things that take place that we know about, art walks.
Mhm.
We met with all of the organizers and talked with them, and they have repurposed their event content to be around a 250 theme. So, varying times throughout the past 250 years. It's not all revolutionary, but everybody was all in and wanting to be a part of this. Thanks to a partnership that started through Craven County's leadership, Jack Veit, and the county commissioners, we were able to go out and seek a grant for funding from the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources, and we were awarded a $30,000 grant for promotions and marketing around this year-long celebration. So we'll have that in addition to marketing funds that we'll supplement with from our budget. And we've been advertising in varying magazines, digital, OTT streaming. We've been all over and well outside of North Carolina advertising for this, like I said, calendar full of everything you can think of, from the Eras tour with the 250 celebration that Civic Theater they put together. They wrote a production specifically for this
Oh,
event
oh.
and this. We've had, of course, I mentioned Mumfest, but the Daughters and the Sons of the American Revolution have been huge contributors in this, and they've got some things. New Bern Resolves is doing an event in August. They've got another event in September. The Ghost Walk has content that they've written that's going to be about this.
Mhm.
I'm talking with John Berger at Bank of the Arts for the Studio Arts Tour to possibly have something that's 250 related. So it's been wonderful to see everybody want to collaborate and understand the importance and significance, not only of the event for the nation, but for what it could do and the visibility it could bring New Bern and Craven County.
That is awesome. Wow, that I didn't realize it was a whole year. So that
Yeah.
excites me because I'm
Well,
out of town next week and I was so sad.
it's a lot, and everybody was like a whole. I mean, like, couldn't even fathom thinking this. But what I feel very confident in how we did this because it's been very successful so far. But what we did was, instead of creating new events, we took what we already had and what we were already had the bandwidth for, and
Mhm.
we just added and injected 250 content and theme into that.
Yeah.
So we were all, I think all of us, and you said it yourself in the beginning, we have so many events all of the time, and events are a lot. They take a lot of time and resources, and nobody really had that to tackle and take on. But what we did have was the willingness to add something into what we were already doing, and so that's what's worked out. I think that was the recipe for success.
Yeah, that is awesome. So, because we're right here at the July 4th celebration and everything, why don't you share for a minute, like some of I know there's a couple maybe additional things that you added for that, but what events can people expect? I don't know if it's this weekend, next weekend, whatever you might have, just share with us real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, great question. We definitely have a lot of new things. So, for the first time ever, the city of New Bern organized with Swiss Bear
Mhm.
and the Chamber of Commerce a Fourth of July parade.
Woo-hoo.
Um, which I mean, the excitement around this parade is just, I mean, like nothing I've experienced. It's very cool. So it will actually start on July 4th, of course, that morning. So
Mhm.
backing up just a bit, that morning on the palace grounds, the Governor Tryon will be there. There's an event that takes place to kick off the Glorious Fourth.
Okay.
Then from there, the parade will begin its route um, at the palace gates.
Okay.
And it will start there. The Fife and Drum Corps Band will be there. They will lead the parade into downtown. It will
Mhm.
travel down Pollock Street, and then it will turn up Craven and end at the South Front and Craven intersection.
Yeah.
Um, fortunate we have the Chamber and Swiss Bear in the same building officing here,
Mhm.
and have seen I mean, an influx of people coming in to sign up to be in the parade, to be have a float in the parade. So it's going to be a very well-rounded parade in terms of what you'll see, the people a part of it, the music. After the parade, the farmers market has some events and some activities that are taking place immediately after that. The downtown merchants, of course, are all really excited that there's going to be these many people in downtown during
Mhm.
that time. So they'll have, some specials. Their stores and restaurants and everything will be open for business. Then that night, there's some other events after the farmers market from the farmers market that the palace will be doing.
Okay.
And then that night, of course, the city of New Bern has their amazing event at Lawson's Creek Park.
Mhm.
And that I want to say starts at 4 or 5 with
Okay.
the fireworks taking place at 9. Now, I'm sorry that it's taken me this long to say about the calendar. Visitnewbern.com
Yeah.
is where you can get all of this information. And I'll hear me say that a bunch of times, but that is where the calendar for all of the A250 events live, as
Mhm.
well as the July 4th celebration. It's visitnewbern.com, the events calendar. It is published for the whole year and beyond. So everything that we're talking about here and after that will all live on there too. So you can find all this out. But yeah, so then they'll have at Lawson's Creek, they have music, and I was told a little extra fireworks display that's supposed to be something special this year too. So I think everybody's really feeling the energy, the vibe from America 250 has been, I think, infectious and playing out throughout our nation. I mean, all these things that we're seeing on the news with the sports and Stanley Cup and Big Rock and all these things are just kind
Mhm.
of really been like leading to this like national American pride. And I think that
Yeah.
it will definitely be felt the July 4th weekend here in New Bern too.
Yeah. That
And
sounds.
be remiss if I also didn't mention that Havelock will also be having a Freedom Fest
Oh,
at their park in Havelock too. So for anybody that's closer in the Havelock area or wants to come up there, they always do a really great job. Of course, how could they not with Cherry Point being right
yeah.
there? They're
Sure.
show their people
For
their
sure.
pride.
That is awesome. Okay. I love that. That is super exciting. What time was the parade? I don't think I heard that. You might have
10
said
o'clock,
what time?
10 a.m.
10. Okay, perfect. I'm trying to like make
Yeah,
notes too, so I have it on here.
I got it.
Um,
No, no, no. And that's starting a little earlier because it's going to be, it's July 4th. It's Eastern North Carolina. It's going to be a little
yeah, yeah.
hot.
Yeah, and then
But
it gives them all day to shop, to eat lunch, to go to the
that's
farmers
right.
market stuff, and you
That's
can
right.
just spend the entire day downtown basically and celebrate. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely. And, I really encourage residents if you're not, travel plans, or you want to avoid some of that, if it's not a beach weekend,
Hmm.
this is going to be a really great celebration. And there's been a lot of work and effort that's gone into this parade, and the downtown merchants are really excited about this. And so I encourage you, please come downtown, shop local, eat local, and, play tourist for the day. There I've learned this summer, just since we've really started talking with some of the merchants and things this year, there are a lot of people that aren't aware of the access that they have to just some of our boat tours, and that there
Hmm.
are boat tours, and that's something that people can do with their families, cool off a little bit after the parade, and so there's lots to do and experience. Again, shameless plug, but the calendar is on the Visit New Bern page, but so is all of this other info and ways that you can really get in here and take advantage of all of the things that we have at
Hmm.
our disposal, and all of the amenities that we have to offer tourists are here daily for our residents.
Hmm.
So I really encourage people to look that up on visitnewbern.com.
Yeah, because we hear a whole lot, especially like I have four children,
Uh,
9 to 17, and everybody's like, "There's nothing to do here. There's nothing. New Bern's so boring." Well, they're looking for like skating rinks or bowling
yeah.
alleys or that kind of
Yep.
thing. So, but you guys are having a lot of new initiatives lately, and you just kind of did the kayak program and stuff. But
Yep.
what else do you guys have coming up that you would like to share about? And you can even go further into the kayak. Like, how does somebody ran a kayak. Like, what does that look
Yeah.
like?
So that's really exciting for us because of what it stands. It is a step towards um, creating some additional waterfront access assets. And this goes again for tourists and residents. We, as a New Bern resident, I find it can be challenging unless you have a boat to get access to our rivers. And I say a lot that they're underutilized, and which, we want people to get out there, and nothing is more beautiful than cruising down the Trent River or,
Mm-hmm.
playing in the river, tubing, jet skiing, all the things that we are so fortunate to have had available to us.
Mm-hmm.
Even just taking in the sights and the nature and going down the news. So we're working really hard to bring new visibility to the tour boat operators that we have,
Mm-hmm.
and to make sure that people know about those companies. And while they take guests out at a number of 6 or fewer at a time, they are a great operation. They're very knowledgeable. Offer a really amazing experience when you use any of them. So if you've got people coming in from out of town or just looking for something different to do, could be something for the kids, that's something that we highly recommend. And then this new initiative we put together with the Whenever Water Sports is what the
Mm-hmm.
company's name is. They are the self-serving kayaks. This is another way to do it too. We people want their own experiences, but they also want to make their own schedule, and they want to go when they want. And it can sometimes also be on a whim. And this helps the Parks and Rec folks when we're talking with them, because they often found it as a challenge with staffing and bandwidth to keep
Mm-hmm.
up with a kayak program, because you just never knew when it was going to be rented, when it wasn't, if the weather was bad. So this really takes all of that out of it, and it's a great solution. It's available during park hours, and you can go. Like I said, you scan a QR code. We actually have those QR codes at other places outside of Creekside Park, so you could start that rental process. If you come across them for guests, we have them in the hotels. We have them in our visitor center, on our website, in our visitor guide. You'll also see them at the merchants, it's varying businesses downtown. So you can scan it and start the rental process and go ahead and set that up for a later time. And then, like I said, go out and experience it, for half a day, a full day. And
Yeah.
we have also recently updated the Blue Trails, which is a
Okay.
mobile friendly. It's all of our waterway, our trails, which are paddle trails.
Okay.
So it is the stops, and it's a river view, or river maps, and spots on our river, both rivers. And it gives you the launch points. It gives you stopping points. It tells you how far away things are. There are places all the way from the Trent and the Neuse. It takes you into the Neuse down by the Havelock side. It really is a phenomenal trail tour. And we recently, back in our early or late summer last year, digitized it. So that's all mobile friendly now. You can get on a kayak and pull up the Blue Trails, which that's also a scanned document that's at the Creekside Park location at the launch point, and then start paddling. And so we are working to make it as seamless and as easy of a user experience as we can. And more to come with that as that continues to grow. We hope that maybe potentially there will be other locations and other initiatives like that will be coming, that again is a win for both guests and for our residents.
Yeah. Up until you came to the office a few weeks ago, I had no idea that any of that was available. And I was like, I'm really not really good about staying up with things. That's one of the goals in the show, so I can know everything that's going on.
Yeah,
But I was just
no,
sitting there going, my gosh, my kids would have loved that. Like, we go to Creekside all the time. I had no
it's
idea
yeah.
that it was available.
And
So
we're
that's
and you're not alone. I mean, that's, I think, when we talk about things in the visitor center, or Visit New Bern's website, it is, people are like, oh, that's for visitors. Well, it's not just for visitors. And that's one of the messages that we want to share in our advocacy, and what we talk to the communities and groups like yours about. It's not, because these
mhm.
amenities are here and we have them, and we're so fortunate, and we just want to, everybody to be aware of them.
Yeah, I love that. So you also mentioned that you have mobile friendly itineraries.
Yes,
What is that?
yes.
How does that work?
So, a lot of guests come in, and we always, we'll come. What's the first thing they do? They stop in, they ask where to park, and then they'll ask, like, where should we go? What do we
Hmm.
do? Where should we eat? And so we, after years of that, started thinking about how we could curate itineraries based off of varying interests. We get families that come in, so we put
Hmm.
together a family-friendly itinerary of what we would tell people if they came in.
Hmm.
They said, with my kids, where do we go?
Hmm.
Or we're here for a girls' weekend. What should we do? So if you again visit newbern.com, things to do. We've got itineraries listed, and by whatever the interest is, if it's an art lover, if it's the outdoor friendly, those types of things. We have a guys only, like Father's Day type of a centered
Hmm.
itinerary. You can look that up, and we put together our suggestions of a great experience based off of that, complete with where to stay, where to eat, and what to do. And
Wow.
so it is one of the most visited sites or links on our website. People are downloading them, they're using them. It's actually, once you get to it, you can pull it right up on your phone,
Hmm.
and it will be your guide to what to do while you're in town. And it can also, provide you with links to other businesses. But people want to hit the easy button sometimes. And when you're
Yeah.
traveling, you really don't want to think and plan and do all those things. So we've got that covered, and we've put that together for you, so you don't have to. You can just come and stay and enjoy yourself, and we will show you how.
That is amazing. I like me and my husband talk about that all the time. We'll go somewhere and then we're like just sitting in the hotel going, well, where do we go? What is
Yeah.
there to do? So that is brilliant actually.
Yeah.
As a real estate agent, that's amazing to know as we're
Well, and
selling
I
New
feel
Bern.
like it's something that you could definitely use. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got a budget-friendly one, we have a holiday bliss one, we have, so whenever somebody's coming, I mean, I think there's something that tailored for everybody,
Hmm.
and that somebody would find and be interested in. So, please, take a look, and I'd love to hear what you think of them, but,
Yeah.
we encourage people to use those too.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. That's like going to be the first thing I do when we quit talking is check that out.
Good, thank you.
So we also have a special connection in New Bern with an author named Nicholas Sparks. What would
We
you like
do.
to chime in about that? I guess there's an anniversary coming up. Tell me some
There
info on
is.
this.
We are always so proud. I don't know if people. I have the experience a lot to be out in travel shows and industry shows, convention groups. When we're out of New Bern, out of this market, and we talk about this area, the level of fandom that comes from this being the home of Nicholas Sparks, or
Hmm.
the home of, I mean, really the inspiration
Hmm.
behind where he sets all of these love stories. I mean, it's I mean, it's truly remarkable. And I'm not kidding when I tell you, nearly every single day we get somebody that's come in specifically either because he lives here, or
Hmm.
because this is where the backdrop of his books are set. And we love that. And we put together, there's self-guided tours, a walk to remember tour, and then there's a tour called the Return. But the walk to remember tour really features 4 of his novels that have references of New Bern, not just New Bern,
Hmm.
Baker's Kitchen, Tryon Palace, First
Hmm.
Citizens Bank downtown,
Hmm.
Christ Church. I mean, it's amazing. And so we use that in a self-guided tour. People can go from spot to spot
Hmm.
and take pictures in front of it, or it's where Noah and Allie, da 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 da. It's
Hmm.
it really puts you in this like great just experience with all of his stories. And for any of his fans, or anybody who's not, is just appreciates it. It's we've loved having it, and it's a great tourism tool for us. And this year will be the 30th anniversary of the Notebook coming.
Okay. Gotta love that.
And we're really excited to, kind of build up on that.
Mhm,
We want to do some great things. It's October, I believe, is the actual official month that it will, and so we're planning some big things to do to drive some visitors. It just never fails, that one. It just the love, the support, the following that his stories and those characters have.
mhm,
Um, are amazing, and we're excited to kind of put that out there. You'll see more
mhm.
as we get closer, but and he's been very gracious as well. We've hosted travel writers and members of the press, and he was so gracious. It's been a year or so ago. He and Tia from his foundation put together a really beautiful press junket for us, where he got to sit and meet with them and talk about New Bern and talk about his inspiration. And these were writers that we brought in from People Magazine and all over, and it just continues to help strengthen, our draw, and
Mhm.
why this location, New Bern, is so unique. What other small coastal city has this,
Yeah,
world recognized author? So it's
yeah.
truly amazing.
I can't believe it's been 30 years since
I know.
book.
I know. Like, I don't want to hear it, because that just makes me feel like,
Well,
oh my
so A
God.
Walk to Remember was like my favorite. I was a teenager. It
Oh,
came out. It was my favorite movie. I hadn't read it because I didn't remember. I was probably
right.
16
And teenager. Right.
and
Right.
I wasn't reading books. And so, but I watched it over and over again. Well, then when I moved here, I moved to Beaufort originally. And it was
Uh-huh.
like every little teenage girl's dream that you were going to, go and meet the love of your life, which I actually did. That's where I met my husband. So it was this
Right.
whole,
Well, there you
but
go.
so
Yeah.
it's always this special. So you say like a Walk to Remember tour. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. I didn't even know that was
Yeah.
there. I didn't know that was a
It is
thing.
so sweet. And
Oh,
when,
I love it.
I've walked people and taken them on this tour, and it's just like the spots that they talk about, and the Spanish Moss, and then, it goes up Bryce's Creek. It has merchants in there. I mean, it's just really, and when you think about it, I'm like, this is what helped to provide kind of his thoughts and his muse for some of what he thought of. And so it's,
Hmm.
no wonder people love it so much. I mean,
Yeah.
think about what inspired him to do.
What would you say the most popular location is that people give the best feedback on? Is there any one that they were like, oh, this was the
Oh,
amazing
from
spot?
that tour?
Yeah,
Uh,
any of his tours.
well, it's I feel like Tryon Palace gets a lot, because, I mean, obviously, when you get there, to those grounds are beautiful. Christchurch
Hmm.
is another one. I mean, the grounds there, the Spanish Moss, the benches. I mean,
Hmm.
that one is usually like people are blown away, and that's like a great photo op. But there's, there's a little spot. They've got one of them it mentions, I think, is in James Reed Alley. That's another spot that's highly, mentioned as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'd say Christchurch.
Yeah, that makes
Good
sense. I
question.
kind of assumed it probably would be there, but I was curious if because it is
No,
stunning
good
over there.
question. It is.
So, looking ahead, what is something happening in New Bern over the next year that people may not know about, but they should?
Well, that's a good question. We're going to continue with these A250 events. So I think it's really important that I don't think people realize, like you said, that it's an entire year.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that I'd really like to help to like get across and reinforce here.
Hmm.
Um, there are already events lined all the way up through the holidays that I think people, like you said, again, you made a great point that you see things and you see somebody post something, you're like, I had no idea. And
Hmm.
for so long, even, starting out early in my career, people were saying, well, we need one central place for people to go to find event information, one location. Well,
Hmm.
now we have it. And the Visit New Bern calendar, we actually integrated a system that does what's called a scrape of all of the events.
Hmm.
So anything that's hosted on Google, Eventbrite, or a Facebook event, all gets automatically populated into our calendar. So we literally have every event, whether it's live music, Comic-Con event that's happening in Havelock, all the way to Mumfest, to any Very Merry events. We have all of them that live on this calendar. So I think if anybody goes and visits, they're going to find something, at least one thing that they didn't know about already that's happening. So
Yeah.
if they could just make that initial search to our calendar, they'll see that.
That is awesome. Well, you mentioned that they were going to go ahead and like tag on to events that you already had, one of them being the Ghost Walk, right?
Mhm.
Can
Mhm.
you just explain to us a little bit the Ghost Walk? Because from a church background, right?
Yeah.
Everybody like I ever talked to, me myself included, was like, this is going to be something so creepy. This is going to be terrible. This is going to like, oh my, I don't want to be scared. It's Halloween. Tell us about. We did it. We loved it. But tell
Yeah.
us about the Ghost Walk a little bit and what it actually is instead of just hearing the word ghost and people freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand that. It could be a little misleading, but really it is more interpretive and it's more historical figures. And they really look at, they take impactful people, women in history. They've taken African American heritage and, different places in the historical chapters of New Bern. And they focus on certain characters and stories and then they recreate them and they'll be in different locations that are centered or have meaning to that character and they learn dialogue and they learn this whole story about that character and then they really portray that. They spend weeks auditioning, they spend weeks to rehearse for this, and it's not spooky ghosts and goblins. This is really historical.
Mm-hmm.
And, they use a lot of, like I said, it's interpretive and it's all very interactive. And it's somebody really sharing their story about what they went through or what happened or how they're important and what they did to help build what New Bern is today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's I can't believe that they do this annually each year. The numbers of people that this attracts and the people that come are, I mean, in the thousands. And this is from a respectfully but smaller historical society, but they put together probably one of the best and largest events, and it's so well thought of, it's so well done, and again, that would be something as well that you'll find, but I would definitely recommend people to come and do that. It's usually a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, something like that, and in October, and that's, I mean, perfect weather. It's just that fall nod. It's a little
Mm-hmm.
crispy, and definitely not any way from a churchgoer's perspective, or anybody who might be a little like more on the scared side. It's not going to be a spooky type of thing. Now, if you want that, we can offer that because the group at the Black Hat Shop, they do ghost tours,
Mm-hmm.
and that is done. They do those daily. They offer
Mm-hmm.
those. They're dressed in just really kooky, eccentric kind of wear. There is some historical accuracy. There's some that's a little bit fiction, but it's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have guests that just love that, and that's all. That's entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a little bit different, and they do have some spookier aspects to it. But they're very different. But ghost tour, I can understand the kind of the misleading part of it, but please go. Everybody needs to check out Ghost Tour this year.
Yeah, it's we had a
Ghost
blast.
Walk. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Ghost
the
Walk.
walk. You got it. Yeah, the Ghost Walk is the one weekend. The Ghost Tour is almost every day downtown.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
but the walk, I think I was
That's
more
right.
just amazed at the stories that they were
Yes.
sharing. And like this, you go in front
Yes.
of a house and there's a character there, just like when you go to Tryon Palace kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they tell a story. And it was so just eye-opening and
Yeah.
mind-blowing, the stories that you don't know about here in New
That's right.
Bern. And
That's right.
because we hear
And
all the
it's
big ones, but not that individual
not
people.
the little ones, and it's about, it really gets you engaged and connected to the individual, the person, and not just kind of the overarching story, but really tells their personal, depiction of it, which I think is what, people like to do
Hmm.
that. They like to know who it is, and they really like to get. I mean, I don't want to say nosy, but people really want to know about the people,
They do.
right? And that's what really attracts the interest. So,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
great question.
So if someone like yourself has lived in New Bern their entire lives, what's one thing you'd encourage them to go experience this summer? If they've been there, done that, and I hear that a lot, like, oh yeah, we go downtown, we go eat, but what?
So, of course, you gotta go, you gotta do a kayak. You gotta
Hmm.
try the kayaks, try the system. I think it's really cool. I think it's not too, um, eh, you know, overdone in terms of the digital era where it's going to be kind of age restrictive or anything like that. I feel like it's
Mhm.
really going to help to get people of all ages out there. So something water related, I would highly recommend. We do a segment on our Instagram page. It's kind of hidden gems.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I don't know how many residents go or really check out the old Pinnocks if they want something
Mhm.
to eat. I don't know if you've been down there, but that is just
So
such a
good.
cool spot. Such a great spot for our food. We have such great restaurants. I mean,
Mhm.
really, you can't go wrong with any one of them. But I'm, just kind of again in that hidden gem type of a thought. The If you haven't shopped or gone to the gift shop inside of the History Center,
Mhm.
such great gift ideas. You'd be surprised at what they have to offer. There's also a new retail location that's opened up on Craven Street, Camellia Blue. Um, Amazing gift ideas and just really unique things that you won't find anywhere else, or a fair trade store.
Mhm.
Awesome. And I think it's just maybe coming up on a year now that they're open. I definitely do that. If you're anything in the Croatan Forest. We've got a lot of really wonderful trails and things that are available. The East Coast Greenway is a bike trail that we have available here. And if it's a super hot day, if you haven't done the Fireman's Museum and gone upstairs to the Great Fire of New Bern exhibit, I
Mhm.
highly recommend that. It's so great and so impactful, and it's just really it's really striking. You will definitely not regret taking a trip into there, if and kids of all ages. But it's remarkable.
That is awesome. No, I have not done that either. There's a lot that I haven't done. I need to make
Oh, well, it's hard. I mean, when you think of 4 kids, that's kind of a lot.
it. But
So,
then you get bored and it's like there's nothing to do, but there's tons to do.
there are
So,
things to do.
and
Yeah.
most of it is pretty affordable. It's not like you're going to do anything
No,
extravagant as well.
we've definitely, compared to other destinations, and when we talk, even when you go into other locations that we use as comparables for our market, you from the start, from the time you park, you pay to park. We don't have
Mhm.
that here. We've got free parking lots in our downtown area and all over. We've the cost of living is lower, but the cost of visiting is also not as high as other locations. And
Mhm.
our hotels and just our restaurants and everything that we have, even with what they offer, we're all in a relatively affordable price point.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, to end our time together, I'm going to ask you your favorite things real quick. You already
Okay.
just actually answered one because it was your favorite hidden gem, and you said it was Old Pennix.
Well, yes. I mean, I
Yeah,
just
you just answered that
they're
one.
all my favorite, but
Yes.
yeah, I just
So,
something that I kind of just thought of.
what's your favorite local restaurant?
Outside of downtown,
No, wherever. I guess you can say anywhere you want.
if it's not a Mon Asian, and if anybody has been
Okay.
to Mon Asian,
Yeah, yeah. I've only actually ate
the
there once, but it was
The
delicious.
Dunkin' Noodles, yeah, that's just
Mm,
like my go-to, and I'd certainly recommend it, but it's just not one that you put in the tourism portfolio necessarily.
right?
But it's a great
It's
spot.
delicious. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Well, I did not see that one coming at all. Wow. That caught me.
Now,
What's
if
your
you're talking about, I mean, I have the good fortune of being able to eat downtown or having all of these wonderful, the Cypress and the Harry's and all the other places
Mhm.
all every single day. But if you're off the beaten path kind of thing, that's where I
Yeah,
go.
I love that. Okay, what's your favorite event of the year?
Mm. It is tough. So I've got to tell you, our light up the season when they light the tree in Union Point Park and then come
Hmm.
down to downtown. That's pretty high up there. But that air show that's taking place at Titan Aviation and Stallings are putting on the Friday after Thanksgiving. If you all haven't seen that, goosebumps.
It was
The
phenomenal.
drone show that they've done, they put together and coordinated after that event. I mean, it was amazing. It was
Hmm.
beautiful.
Are they
So
doing that again this year? Do you know?
it's as far as I know. I haven't heard
Okay.
otherwise.
It
So
was
that's just
awesome.
I mean, you think about it, and that's such a great sell because I mean, what other waterfront city can you
Hmm.
offer waterfront air show at night?
Yeah, yeah,
And so it's
it was
huge. So I
awesome.
hope that they do it. We're so grateful for that.
What is your favorite place to take out of town guests?
Oh. if we can get out of town guests here, potential meeting planners or bring in conferences or anything, it's a win. Once we get them here, we've got them. We can sell them. We bring them in, walks around. We start with coffee over at New Bern Roasters. We do just a walkthrough of our downtown. Any merchant, they're so great. Mitchell Hardware is always a great stop. We got to get an ice cold Pepsi at the Pepsi store. You said this before, but if you really want to kind of show them an elevated experience, Cypress or Baxter's in the evening, Chelsea. I mean, I could go on and on, but our other our old favorite or standby that it consistently just hits and just knocks it out of the park is Morgan's. We've, in terms of the lodging, the Harvey, the Tapestry. I mean, we've got some really beautiful, the Airy bed and breakfast. We are really packing a huge punch. So we just need to get the folks here, fly them in, drive them in, and we can usually get them to say, yeah, this is where we want to be.
Yeah. So last one, what is one word that you would use to describe New Bern?
Oh. Growing. And that's not as a beautiful, marketable. But yeah,
that's great.
We're continuing to grow and evolve, and it's exciting for me. That's what New Bern is meaning for me right now.
That is awesome. Well, is there anything else you would like to add that we didn't hit on?
You were great. Great questions. I think you really kind of reached into a lot of different aspects of this. I am always happy to help answer anything if I can ever provide any resources. But please feel free, everybody, check out visitnewbern.com and let us know what you think.
My dad posted it, so I'm posting it up here right now. So yes, it's visitnewbern.com. Don't forget, I wrote it all down, hopefully right, that July 4th, that's the soonest or closest one coming up. So 10 a.m., beginning at the Palace Grounds. They're going to do a nice little something or another entertainment, and then starts the 4th of July parade. And then from there on out, you've got a ton of options of things that will be happening from the farmers market all the way to Lawson's Creek that night. So
that's right. And not to put all the pressure on you for making sure you took all the event notes down, but July 4th will be listed on the calendar page too on the website.
Perfect.
So it takes you don't have to try to get everything, but
it's got to have to write it down.
That's right. There's a lot going on. So thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Yes, thank you so much. And we're just super grateful for you and everything you are doing. Like I said, we could tell in the past decade that we've been here how much it's grown, how everything downtown, especially in the events, have changed so much. And we have just absolutely loved it. So thank you for everything that you do.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Again, visit the website, visitnewbern.com. And if you need anything in real estate, you know how to get up with me. So y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the train went home and the stories flow. From Triumph Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home.